So today we're going to be showing you guys at home
how to take an old timber deck like this one and changing it to a nice brand new composite one.
If you guys want to learn how to do an awesome deck like this,
stay tuned.
So your first job is to remove your existing deck.
Nice, make sure you get up your existing deck. We're actually going to be giving this to someone because it's in fantastic condition. The only thing we're keeping here is the framework. So if your framework at home is in good condition, no point getting rid of it.
Right, so it's time to remove your old deck. If it's not savable, you can just smash it up. But most decks are either nailed or screwed. So what you can do is you can gently prise it up with a crowbar. If it's screwed, you will have to undo the screws, especially if you're saving the deck. So what we're going to do is we're going to gently prise this up because we're saving it, and then we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to deepin it and safely store it somewhere for a collection. And that is our first board up, nice and easy. So that'll probably be our go-to method. Probably prise it up one side and work your way slowly across. So now that you've got your deck all up and out of the way, we've deepened and we've cleaned. What next now, Phil?
Now you need to make a decision. So if you're going to be laying it straight planks all the way up to the front, you can just start by laying it down, get on with the job and crack on. But if, like us, you want a picture frame detail, so we'll put that up here to show you what that is. So it's a border that goes around. We're going to have to add some framing. So we're going to talk you through that now if you want to do it. Show you what needs to be added to the frame, and then we're going to put that in first and show you the infill. Right, so like many of you, your frame's probably designed to have straight planks, no border, no nothing, like this one here. So what we need to do is add additional bracing in the frame to take our border. So if I show you how much flex that is, because this was never designed to take planks that direction. So we're going to be having this detail, not these colours, but I'm just explaining what we're having. So we're going to have 3 lots of border like so, and then our planks will go that direction at the end. So what we need to make sure is we've got something to pick this up and take the pressure of it. And that's just a case of checking the specs from the manufacturer. Ours is from EnviroBuild, so if you like any of these products, go over there and check them out. Fantastic company. They recommend 360mm maximum centres, which means from the centre to the centre. So we're just going to add noggins every 360mm along the opening where the border's going to go. So we're going to go cut them now. And once we've put those noggins in, we've got one more extra additional support we need to add, and that is some blocking coming through at an angle in the corners, because we want to mitre our borders, so we need something to pick those up. But we're going to put these noggins in so you can see clearly what we're doing, and then we're going to show you that.
Right, so if you're adding a picture frame border in like us, you need to measure 360mm and mark it onto your joists all the way along. And this helps when measuring out for your noggins. Your next step, once you've marked your frame out all the way along, is measure the gap, the distance between the two. They may vary slightly, but just take your time and measure as you go along. We're going to cut a few and we'll be back in a minute. Right, so all that side is roughly the same size. So what I've done is I've created a stop block, and that is just a little bit of wood clamped to here for the exact measurement of the noggin to the blade. And that way you can chop multiple noggins really nice and quickly. So you just slide it up to your stop, pull the saw down. It's that simple. Right, once you've cut all your noggins to size, it's time to install them. And as long as you cut them, they're all nice and tight. How you install them? You can use a screw and a screw gun, or you can use a hammer and nails, or you can use a nail gun.
Right, now we've got our blocking down the side, it's more clear what we're doing. So when this sits this way, it's going to hold the border and make it solid. But we have got some more to do, and not too much. So we want to put some 45-degree bracing through this corner here to pick up the mitres.
Goes across here.
So that'll be coming through here with a mitre on it. I've got myself a piece of blocking. I've put a 45 on that angle, and I've sat it on the right hand side or the left hand side, like so. So that mitre sits flat. And then we're just going to mark here, and we're going to mark the direction because we need to come that way. And we're going to do that twice because we want 2 lots sitting here, because we've got one coming this way and one coming that way. So if I cut you that and show you it installed, then you know what to do on your deck. And that is what we're looking for. So we've got a 45-degree bit of block in there. So when our board comes along with its mitres, those mitres there are going to have something to fix down to, and they're not going to be all snapping and moving around, because nobody wants that now, do they?
So let's fix these bad boys down.
Yeah, so we're going to do that on all 4 corners. So the last bit of blocking that we need to do is deciding where our border finish. So if you want to have a single border, or like us, we're going to have a double border like this, and where our planks are going to finish. So as you can see, there's no support for those, so we need to add extra blocking along this edge to pick the ends of the boards up. That's going to be both sides. So we're going to check where our border sits, make sure we've got blocking for our actual timber. We'll just chuck some in here, and that will pick the boards up. I just explained what we was going to do, and we gained a new guest while we was away. This is Dave from Elwood Enterprise, so go check him out, and he's going to cover what we've done so far.
So the boys have got the frame all ready, and what we've done now is we've put in an extra noggin detail, because this whole frame is having a double picture frame all the way around the outside in the stone colour, and then the internal is going to be filled in this nice silver. So we've had to put another noggin all the way down just to pick up the end of the board each side, and then when we've done that and go all the way across, we've got no joints in the boards at either end. It's going to look pucker.
Right, we're nearly ready to lay our composite deck in, but there's one more step we need to take, and that is to protect our frame. And Dave here, because he's very knowledgeable, is going to show you a product and what it does.
So there's a couple of ways to protect the top of your timbers when you're doing your deck work. One of them is to paint on some blackjack, but our preferred method today is to actually use some deck tape. So we're going to roll this out on the top of all the joints, and the advantage of using deck tape over the blackjack is you can lay on it straight away, there's no mess, and it actually seals all around your fixing, so you get a much better finish.
Right, as you can see, this stuff is super easy to install. Pull the backing off, rub your hand over it, job done. So a massive shout out to Wolfer Strong for supplying these materials. If you want anything like this, go check them out.
Our frame is now all protected, and now it's time to start installing our composite decking.
So on our deck, we're going to start with our corner trims. That's what these are here, so they're designed for steps, etc. And we're just going to mark our 2 mitres that we want to cut. So we're just going to do our angles like so. So we want that one there and that one there, and they're going to meet together. So we're going to cut those now, make sure the angle's good, and then we're going to screw these down with colour matched screws that are supplied from EnviroBuild, and we're going to do that all the way round. Right, when we're cutting our corners, we're cutting them on the back side. So I've put a little mark on the back here to demonstrate what we're doing. The reason being is so we can sit it square against the fence. If it was on the front, we'd have to stand it, it'd be all unbalanced. So that's why we cut from the back. So we sit against our fence, hold it tight, and we just run our saw through at our angle.
So now that Phil's cut the mitre, you should always double check to make sure the mitre lines up all nice and neat now before you go putting pilot holes and screws in it. So now we're going to get this thing fixed down.
Right, so now that we've checked our corner trim's going to fit and our mitres look good, what I like to do is mark out where I'm going to pilot and countersink. So these little bits here are brilliant. It's only for wood, remember, because it works. So it's a pilot bit and a countersink all in one. So you pilot through and it'll put the countersink in. And then we're going to use our tape measure, and I like to set 500mm gaps between my pilot holes. I like to use the 500 because I feel like that's a decent amount of fixings in the corner trim, because obviously it's going to get a lot of abuse of people walking over it. So we just take our bit onto our mark, and if you look there, we've got our countersunk hole, we've got our pilot hole. This is 2mm bigger than our actual fixings, because obviously everything on this frame is going to be moving backwards and forwards through the different seasons. And then all you do is use colour coded fixings. You can get these from EnviroBuild when you buy this sort of stuff from there, and then we'll be fixing down, and as you can see, they're nice and loose in our pilot hole because we don't want them tight, because it will stop the movement. Now that we've got our pilot holes, we're going to line our mitre up and start putting our fixings in, all while making sure it's tight to our frame. Now that we've got one in, we're just going to move along, putting all our fixings into our corner piece, and then it'll be time to move on to the second row.
Right, before fixing the border completely all the way down, you have these clips, and these clips have to be installed before you fix it all the way to the floor. So get your mitre in situ, slide these in place, and how you do that, you've got a single one side and then two the other side, and you slip the single side on the outside because there's nothing joining onto it. And that's every joist you've got, you add a clip in, like Phil's showing you in the picture, and then that way when we add another one, it's going to slot right in.
Now that our corner trim is fixed down and our clips are underneath, we're going to put some fixings into those clips. So more screws that you can get from EnviroBuild, and what I'm going to be doing is just slightly aiming them towards the clip, so just so it pulls tight into the clip, because these need to be tight because they set the gap that we'll have between every board. So I'll just put them in at a slight angle, and you'll watch, see that clip just moves in slightly, just keeps them tight. Little tip for you now. So we're going to do the rest, and then we're going to show you how to move on to the second piece of our picture frame boulder. Right, so we've chucked our composite on our saw. We're now going to set it to 45 degrees and make our cut.
Right, so that's it. We've got our first piece cut now, and what we're going to do is we're going to grab another piece and we're going to put the opposite mitre. So when you're on your saw, if you flip it, the mitre saw to the opposite 45 degrees, that will line up perfectly when you come to put your second piece in. This edge has not landed on the end of a joist. So what we've got to do is we've got to cut this so it's in the centre of the joist, and that gives it a lot more structure when you're fixing the edges. Let's get it cut.
Right, so we've started to put in our second section of our picture frame boulder. So our corner trims are all in. Then we move on to our silver birch, which we're going to be putting on the second row now. So we've got a little cut here, so I'm going to just show you it. We've got our mitre going in here. We're going to measure our gap. For us it is 790. We're then going to deduct 10 millimetres because we've got a 5mm gap that sits here, and we want a 5mm gap along the previous piece that's going to allow for that expansion. So we'll get Brad to cut us a 45 degree mitre at 780. So let's get that cut and show you what it looks like.
Right, if you're not super confident with mitres, what you could do is you can measure the gap, take it to your saw, and just cut it slightly over, and then I'm going to take you over to the gap and I'm going to show you an easy way to show you how to mitre the corner. Right, so you bring your board over to where you need it, and you need a 5mm gap either side, and you can grab yourself a packer, slide it into the gap and bite up, and that is the perfect expansion gap that side. And to work out the mitre this side is you put your 5mm packer on the edge of where the boulder needs to go, and that creates the expansion gap. And then you know you need to put a mitre in this direction, so you can put a little line in it like that, but just mark it just where you need to mark it. And then when you take that back to your saw now, you know you need to put the point of the saw there and cut back that way. And that's a top tip if you're not too confident with measuring and cutting mitres. Right, so we've got a nice long length in there, we've put the piece in there, now it's time to put another long length in here. And how we're going to get, so it's this easy to work this mitre out. So now we've got this mitre, we know we're going that way, we can bring the board over, put the board near your other one, and we know that we need to put a 45 mitre here, going this way, so we can just put the mark on this board, and we know we need to cut that at 45 degrees, and then we'll bring it back to the frame and cut it exactly where it needs to, and I'll show you in a sec. Right, so we just cut the mitre, we've lined it up, and now it's time to cut your board down and come over here. And what we're trying to do is, if and where we can on our frame, where the double bits are, we're going to double up the clips, and that is where we're going to cut the board, because as you'll see there's two clips on this one, so we can actually clip the two sections in separately, and it will lock in a lot stronger.
Right, now that we've got everything cut to size and ready to go, we're just going to tip it up slightly, work our mitre in tight, and then if you have to, go to the other end and tap it down in. We're not going to leave an expansion on our mitres because we've got them on the ends, so we're just going to do these nice and tight. And then all we have to do, tap it back into the clip using a rubber mallet like this. So we're just going to make sure it's nice and tight in our clips, and then we're going to move on to the next row after we finished installing the rest.
Right, so now it's time to do our second boulder, and we're actually going to put this one in a charcoal. So we're actually going to give this one a really nice feature. And if you come in close and see where Phil's sitting, we've put a 45 mitre. We don't actually have to put a join in this one. So we've got the 45 that side, and we're literally just going to mark with our 5mm, because we don't need no joins. And we're just going to mark it, and then mark the direction of the angle, which it'll be the same as the previous one here. So we're going to go at this angle, and then we're just going to take it to the chop saw, and we're going to cut our 45, and then we can come back and install it. So we've got our first mitre done on our charcoal boulder, and all you need to do now is copy the exact same process as the outside boulder, and we'll see you in a minute.
Our boulder is in and it's done. Now things are going to change a little bit, because we're not going to be using clips all the way round, because now we're only installing our lengths across like so. So we're only going to be using our clips on this row here and working our way back. So on the side there, and on the back, we're going to be secret fixing, so that's solid and won't go anywhere. And we'll do that first before we start moving on with the clips. So what we're going to do, we're going to screw down into the section where we've got our groove that normally takes our clip. So we're going to use one of our colour coded fixings. Make sure we're tight against our clips. I'm putting my screws in at 45 degrees into this little slot here. Send them in. Don't go mad, just so it cranks down. Now that board can't lift. So we're going to do that all the way around and show you how to do the infill.
I just want to do a quick shout out to EnviroBuild for supplying all the products in this video that you're watching today. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. Right, so it's finally time to infill this bad boy and make it look awesome. So how you do that?
Awesome.
How you do that is you're going to grab your full boards now, and you need to throw a 5mm spacer at one side, because that's the gap you need. Go on Phil, all the way down the other end, and Phil's going to show you exactly how to mark the other end.
So we're going to mark exactly where that meets our boulder piece, and then we're going to take away 5mm on our cut. So we've got 5mm this end, 5mm that end. We're going to lock it in place. We're going to use our clips on every rafter there, or joist, sorry. And then we're just going to carry that process on all the way to the back, and then we're going to show you how to put that final little cut in at the back.
Now it's time to put the last piece in, and Phil's going to show us how. Come over.
So we're going to measure this last little gap we've got here, and for us we've got 55mm. Now remember, that's not the measurement we want. We want our measurement minus our expansion gap times 2, because we've got one here, one there, and also we're going to check 3 or 4 measurements down this line to make sure it's exactly square. If it's not, we need to adjust how we cut this, but for us it's exactly 55mm all the way down. We have got a 3mm expansion on these joints here, so we're going to cut this at 49mm. So it's just a case of getting yourself a straight edge like that. Get your tape measure,
mark it in as many spots as your straight edge will get you.
And it's also a good idea just to chuck yourself some crosses on the bit you're not keeping, just in case you forget. So we're going to go cut this, and then we're going to show us installing it and how we fix this last piece down. Right, now you've cut your last piece, you've just got to ease it in, and it's not going to fit perfectly straight away, because what we need to do is lever it into our clips, but we're just going to get it flat for the time being. And once we've knocked it down, we're just going to come along with our flat crowbar like so, and we're just levering it in to our clips. Right, and all we're doing now is we're using our pilot bit that we've used for the rest of the deck to make ourselves some pilot holes on our joists below, and putting ourselves some colour coded screws in like we showed you before. And that is how we fix that last piece in and stop it from lifting up. Right, so a big shout out to EnviroBuild for supplying all the products in today's video. I hope you've learned something today. If you've got any questions, chuck it in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace!